G'day. This little video is for political beginners. Small government. Political thinking can be divided into two paddocks. It might surprise you to know that political thinking stretches along a long continuum from this end to that end. Firstly, those who believe government should be so small as to do no more than protect the people from physical attack on person and property, and to leave all matters, including the conduct of the economy, to private people, to private motives, private action and private reward. Through to the other end of the spectrum, where there are those who believe government should control everything, including matters of religion and morality, and centralised planning and control of the economy, all in line with centrally determined definition of the common good. In Australia, debate is generally not at these two extremes. Nevertheless, in Australia, we do have two sides of a political fence. On one side of the fence is the thinking that says small government is good. These people want us to believe that a free market, free of rules, free of planning, free of regulation, free of government interference, that a free market needs small government. That is, they believe that a free market should be free of government interference by way of laws, regulations. They see these laws as restrictive and anti-freedom to do as the market pleases. Their argument is that a free market releases everyone's energy and incentive to accumulate capital or money, which will then be invested by those with the money to create wealth and jobs. Now, they admit that this no rules idea means that there will be winners and losers, but they say that this is the natural order of things and that those who become mega wealthy have worked hard and they've earned their wealth, and those that haven't the wealth, well, they don't deserve it because they didn't work hard enough for it. If the results is only a few who are mega rich and many who are relatively poor, well then that is seen to be the natural order of things, and it's okay. Generally, the people, that's us, are not happy with lots of poor people while a relatively few people enjoy untold privileges and wealth and live wasteful lives, ostentatiously consuming huge amounts of luxurious and excessive resources. Now, the tools that the small government politicians use are two. Firstly, deregulation. Secondly, privatisation. Now, on deregulation means lessening and abolishing the rules. That is, less or no rules for wages, less or no rules for hours worked, no rules for holidays, no rules for sick leave, no rules for safety on the job. A deregulated free market means there is no minimum wage, no maximum or standard hours to be worked. No rules means no rules. It's a free market. Privatisation is the second tool, and it means abolishing the public sector or reducing it substantially. It means replacing public enterprises with private businesses. It means replacing public concerns for the common good with private concerns for the private customer's good and for private profit. It means privatising public banks like the Commonwealth Bank. It means privatising public TAFE colleges with private companies concerned now for private profits. It means privatising the electricity poles and wires. It means privatising Medicare. It means for privatising everything you can think of. Privatising hospitals by funding private hospitals but starving public hospitals. privatising universities with disastrous results for all but the wealthy, and starving public schools until people are forced to pay to go to private schools with private purposes. Over the next 3 years of the Turnbull government, you will hear much about privatisation and deregulation. Please listen to the debate. Try to detect the spin, or as we generally say, work out who's telling the bullshit. Because on the other side of the fence, on this side of the political fence, in a different paddock, where different thinking takes place, we say that a market is a market and not something designed to address people's changing needs. The market needs to be shaped and reshaped to fit our changing expectations, our changing needs, and our changing preferred future. For example, as we change our views about slavery, or child labour, or women's subordinacy, or the exploitation of workers' hours, or the dispossession of Aboriginal people, or the needs of family weekends, and our environment, global warming, carbon emissions, acidification of our oceans, radioactivity in our atmosphere and oceans. As we change our views about all these things, so too must we change the shape of the market, so that the market, or those who like to exploit the freedom of the free market for their own greed, as opposed to the common good, cannot be allowed to tolerate things like slavery, child labour, women's subordinacy, and the long list of other exploitations which were once regarded as free market and acceptable. That is, we, the people, have the capacity to shape the economy with appropriately social and shaped regulations and legislation. These are the two sides of politics. Small government with its two tools of deregulation and privatisation, and responsible government responsible for an aspect of the free market but with shaping power of the people to meet the needs of the people.